Hmm? You don't know about the podium?
Either they're cool.
Is there something different about the podium? All right. Here's the story. When I was at Founders, we rented the church to a Presbyterian church, Reverend Pastor Park, and we became really close friends. And when I got my own service on Saturdays, Saturday at 5:30, he said, well, you need something to make it good. And I said, okay. Well, what do you think? I will. He didn't say anything. His assistant came and says, I want to take you somewhere for lunch. She took me to this church shop with all the stuff, and she says, okay, Pastor Park wants you to have a podium. Pick the one you want. I said, wow. Okay, so I did. And I brought it here with me, and I came in and I said, I'm not going to make a lot of changes, right? And then what did I do immediately? Change the whole service. So I thought, all right, in time, the podium will just make its way, And if you've been on the Saturday class, you notice that it sort of came out in the Saturday class. We started using it. And then the other day, Johanna got real secretive, which is really hard for her because she doesn't do that secret thing very well. And suddenly, she came back and said I had to run an errand and showed up with this because, see, I said, if I have the podium, I need to have a little table or something to go with it. So she found this table. And isn't it? It's perfect. She got in touch with Pastor Park's assistant, Katie, who now lives in Portland, and they went back to the store. She sent her to the store and got this that absolutely perfectly matches it. And so now we have this table for our God candle, and now this is going to replace the wooden podium that was there, and this is our new setup. Right? So thank you, and thank you, Pastor Park, and thank you, Leslie, for asking. Yeah. So now we got new. Let's talk about tradition. The onion ring. And its transformative power. Right. Gary's like, it's got exactly. That's the whole point. It's an amazing thing. And the onion ring, we have been taking care of this onion ring for 11 years now. It's safely stored in a Ziploc container, in a freezer container, in a freezer. It's safe, right? Since 2006, we've been protecting this thing. Ever since Ralph Seaman was sitting at Carl's Jr., chowing. Thank God he was eating mindfully, right? Because, we would have missed this opportunity. Why is not Ralph here today?
Too much fun last night.
Yeah. So, he's out shopping for more onion rings. So he comes, he looks down and says, oh my God, this onion ring looks like the teaching symbol. So he brings it over to Ron, his best buddy, and they go, it sure does. Let's go show it to Dennis. So they bring it to Dennis, and he looks at it and goes, hey, we should do something with that. Why don't we auction it off? Okay. So at the Harvest of Abundance in 2006, they auctioned off this thing for $7.21. And so they thought, hey, that's not a bad idea. So the person who won it had to take it home and keep it in the freezer for a year. And so for 11 years, this thing has been freezer hopping, like you do sofa surfing. It's been freezer surfing for 11 years. And last year, 6 different people bid $65.01, $65.02, $65.03. So it sold for $390 and what was that? 21 cents. Right? If we could do that with the American dollar, we would be doing things in this country, right? We wouldn't have the problems we're having. We'd be all financed out. So that's the story and the history of the onion ring. Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, Ron. And thank you, Dr. Dennis, for starting this. And I have this idea. I don't know. I've been thinking maybe we should take it and dip it in acrylic and they could sit on somebody's shelf. Right? So I think that the next, because, right, Dennis, CSL Simi Valley 1.0, Jim, CSL Simi Valley 2.0, Steve, CSL Simi Valley 3.0. So the upgrade for the onion ring, we're going to dip it in acrylic. Then whoever wins it next year can put it on their shelf at home instead of having to keep it in the freezer. Right? Huh? Your freezer's lonely for it. It'll be back. It's right there. You can take it back. But that's the story of the onion ring. And I was thinking about it. So what is the onion ring? Is it a charm? mean, charms are used to bring us luck, and I guess we're so. Well, I thought it might be a talisman, but talismans are like for power and to bring you, I have my talisman. And then I thought maybe it's an amulet, but then an amulet is for protection. So I think the onion ring is just pure fun. Or in Betsy's way, fundraiser. But also, to be serious about it, it's really a reminder of the journey. It's a reminder of the journey that we're all on, the life journey that we are all on, because it is a representation of the teaching symbol. It's our way of finding our direction into our authentic spirituality. And it's not always an easy journey. Robert Masters, in a wonderful book called Spiritual Bypassing, talks about this. He says, authentic spirituality is not some little flicker or buzz of knowingness, but a vast fire of liberation, providing both heat and light for the healing and awakening we need. Did you see that? Heat and light for the healing and the awakening that we need. It's not just a flyby thing. You can't just walk around and say, it's all good, meditate a couple hours and think, light a peace candle and say, okay, everything's great. There's work that we have to do to get to that authentic level of spirituality. There's this healing that takes place when we get there. There's this opening up to life itself that gets there. The problem is we like the light, but sometimes we're not so excited about the heat. The journey can be a little rough. But it's about a process. And the onion, just as itself, is such a great representation of this when you think about it. I mean, like the onion, first off, when you grow an onion, from the minute that the bulb begins to form, what's happening there is the plant is putting its food reservoirs into the bulb. That's what the onion bulb is. It's really the food reservoir for the onion. And you can eat that almost right away. And that's interesting because to me, spirit is like that. We are this container of spirit and we can use it right away. Do we? I don't think so all the time. But we can use it right away. It's already there available for us, you see. So it becomes a great metaphor for life because it's edible from the start and it's always usable. And then when you look at the onion and you cut it, it has these concentric circles coming out from its core. Boom, 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 boom. It's like the center that is everywhere and the circumference that is nowhere. The Egyptians thought that the onion was a symbol of eternal life. Eternality. We're back to God again. So in many ways, what Ralph brought to us was this constant reminder of the journey of spiritual truth and how we can find it from our center and how it can outpicture from our core and live a really wonderful life. And then Dr. Holmes, because of what we did here, he turned it into this teaching symbol that we can understand and use and find a metaphor for the flavor of our greatness in life, you see. But back to Masters for a minute. Moving forward, he says, moving toward our pain may not always feel good, but it is necessary for the journey that we are truly to heal. If we're really going to heal ourselves, moving toward our pain may not feel good, but it is a necessary journey if we are to truly heal. It's so easy in science of mind to go directly to prayer, directly to it's all good, directly to denying what's ever going on in our lives because we talk about the kind of prayer called denial. But I got to remind you, as I talked about recently, Dr. Holmes says very clearly, we look at the condition. We must understand the condition, right? We must understand what it is about us that we're trying to heal. And then once we do that, then we turn, then we get upon the journey. But the problem is that sometimes the enzymes that are in the onion that make us tear up, the crying that happens when we're on the journey makes us not want to participate in the moving forward to what's necessary for us to heal. But if we're going to get there, we've got to go through those experiences. And in reality, perhaps those experiences are here as part of the necessary process of life itself unfolding. So let's look at this teaching tool for a minute. There's actually the tool itself. That's the teaching symbol. So you can see, all of us that know it already can see it. But if you haven't been in the foundations class, I invite you to come and participate. But this circle is all of life. It's God itself, right? And then when we break it down, we take God up here, the seed, the soul, the seed, the spirit itself is here. And then this descent, this V, is the descent of spirit into form. And we have this middle section here. We call that the soul or the law. It's the plastic part, the thing that we talk about that works automatically to make our good come out in our lives. And then boom, down here we have the form itself. That's the process that it takes. Soul, spirit, soul, and body. Or love and law and effect. See, love points the way. Law makes the way possible for the form that we experience in our lives. That's why our prayer has a particular form that it does. And that's how we have the science part of our spirituality. This is a method, a very scientific method that is used to allow the Spirit to bring the life that we want into our experience. And we do that through our deep conviction in this process and in this knowingness. Dr. Holmes speaks very strongly about this and how much we need to make this work for ourselves. He says, you will find your word has the amount of power, the amount of intelligence that you put into it. And it has creative power according to the amount of absolute conviction and the impulse of love which is behind it. And notice he says the impulse of love which is behind it. That love is already there. See, the love is the self-givingness of spirit that's already there. So it's ready. Love is like that. It's just, please, come on, use me, right? It's already saying that. And then Dr. Holmes gives us a recipe. How do we use it? Well, we put power in our word. That's mean we're very clear about our understanding. We've looked at the condition. We've analyzed it. We said, don't want that. And then we look at what do we do want? And we turn it around and we realize what it is we want. And we just see that. We embody it. We imbibe it, and we just put our intelligence behind that. We use all of our skill and our power and our strength to understand that there is a creative power that works with that absolute conviction, and the love is just waiting to deliver. But see, we put so much doubt, we put so much worry in there sometimes that we don't get there. But we can move beyond the doubt. We can move beyond the worry that we so easily get caught up in. We forget sometimes what Emanuel Swedenborg said in one of his wonderful writings. He says, before anything is brought back into order, it is quite normal for it to be brought first into a kind of confusion. A virtual chaos. So you know what? When your life is chaotic and you're all confused, yay, you're halfway there. It's like, wow, I am so confused. Oh, this is good. They'll think you're Pollyanna, But it's okay. Pollyanna played the glad game. I'm glad I have confusion. I'm glad I don't know what's going on right now, because now I know what to do. I put some power, I put some conviction behind it, there's this love waiting, and there's a law operating. Oh, good. Let me not screw this up. I better tell the law exactly what I want, see? I better get very, very clear. And by getting very, very clear, we begin to outpicture the life that we want. We avoid the confusion. We move to the next phase. We move past the chaos, which is an opportunity, a necessary part of the journey, God is trying to experience something unique through you, by means of you. Don't sell God short by thinking that the problems that you have in your life are not part of the journey. It may sting a little bit before the sweet flavor arrives, but go back to the onion. How many of us use onions when we're cooking? Right? Just about all of us. Because what? They put this sweet flavor, this savory flavor in there. But you got to go into the kitchen. You got to cut them up a little bit first, and then you put them in the pan. A little butter, slow heat, and they get that caramelized look. And you see it. They get all clear, right? Like our thoughts need to get. When our thoughts get clearer, we're like, okay, we're putting the amount of conviction and the power in there. And now we drop on the rest of the ingredients and we taste it, and it's so good. With the exception of French onion soup, everything has a little onion in it. Well, French onion soup has a lot of onion. I think it's the only thing I could find that's like made of all onions, except if you live in Bulgaria and you eat them raw. I know. How do people do that? So we've moved past misusing it. We're not going to misuse it. We're going to succeed. And here's how we succeed. By being a bat. Belief, acceptance, and trust. By applying our faith. And that faith comes as a part of having an experience of life and knowing. I love that quote from Bill Moyers asked Joseph Campbell, do you need faith? And he says, faith's okay, but I have experience. We all have experiences of how this works in our lives. Think about the thing that you worried about, that you had so much doubt about before it came along, and then once that situation arose and it became real in your experience, you moved through it. And it was rarely has stuff I've worried about, I don't know about you guys, but the stuff I have worried about has never come out the way I worried about it. My worry vision is not very good. It does not forecast the truth. It's like a weatherman doing a 14-day forecast. It's gonna be wrong. If you trust a 14-day forecast, you guys are just like, we're only right at like 3 days out, maybe. Maybe. That's about it. And that's what worry and doubt's like. It's like an extended long-range forecast, and it tends to be wrong. So let it go. Let it go. Celebrate the chaos and the disorder and the confusion, and know that as you do that, as you love it, you move through it into something greater, into something more. Because see, there is a transformation. The gift is always available because of an omnipresent Spirit. Right? And then the infinite possibilities, the potential is always available because of the omniscience of Spirit. Right? Because it's always knowing. And you know what I say? What does my grandfather say about potential? Nobody remember that? You ain't doing nothing yet. Right? So we put action behind our potential, we do something. And that's the power, the unlimited power of this omnipotent Spirit that's ever available and always surrounding us. And then we get to do what Dr. Holmes talks about. He says, your final emancipation will be written by your own hand, thought by your own mind, recognized as your own birthright. The good that you are to experience in your life is your birthright. We are all living the creation story in Genesis. And what did he say after or they say, because God says, let us make man in our image. There must have been a bunch of them. But in the end, what did they say at the end of every day? This is good. Life is good. Onion rings are good. And so it is. And so, that takes us to our art. Here we go. There is a power at my core ready to transform whatever my current state into one of more peace, more joy, and more harmony. To that power I say, I accept! And so it is. Yes. All right, so I think what we can do in the upgrade is we're going to slide the God candle over. Be Garrett, be good. Yes, good. And all right. Right? All right. How many say fix the lid? How many say leave it alone? All right. All right. We will. And so it is. Oh, yes. Crucify him. Hosea. Hosea. Bring me my Hosea moment back. That's lovely. That didn't last long at all, right? 24 hours. So we not call Moira. All right, everybody, I invite you to take a breath. Take a breath, everyone, really. Because this is our moment of prayer. And as we have been doing, and I just think this is the way that it works so well for us, because it brings us into a common consciousness. So if you haven't been here before, what we've been doing is we envision the person or the idea, the condition that we want to see change. We're going to take a look at it, and then we're going to realize the good. And so you can either call out the name or call out the condition, like harmony or peace or Patricia or whatever the situation is. So we just do it now in popcorn style. Just let it come. feeling the divine presence here in this moment and knowing that we are one in the consciousness that is God, experiencing the life that is God, I speak this truth on behalf of each and every person in this room. That there is a power, there is a presence, there is a love, and there is an operative law creating the good in our lives. And as I have asked for the call, and the words have been spoken by each and every person here, there is already the intention set that is instructing the law on exactly what to do. So we know that more peace, more joy, more harmony, more love, more abundance and prosperity, more resolution of discomfort, wholeness and healing is being made manifest in the lives of all those that we have spoken about, all those that have not spoken up but have holding an idea in mind that they know they need to see turned around. In this moment, the law is responding and is going about its business of doing the work of delivering the good now, in the eternal now, in the right time, on time, in time. This is the truth. I'm so grateful for it that I say thank you, Mother, Father, God. Thank you, Divine Presence. Thank you, Infinite Spirit, for the love and the gift you give. It is my good pleasure to give you the kingdom, and we accept. And so it is. All right.